Where's the love? Where's the love? It's right here in the heart of the city. I'm one of the co-pilots, Silas Grant, and I'm joined by my co-pilot, Tony Lewis Jr.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
indeed. Yes, indeed. This is the heart of the city. It's a real special moment. A lot of the work that's been done in this city with respect to reentry, with respect to the reforming of families and solidifying families. A lot of that work that you've been doing has been centered around one big effort, an effort to bring somebody home, right? That is now not only home but sitting right here with us.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna allow you the opportunity to introduce the guest we got here today.
Yeah, so we absolutely got a special guest here with us today. Somebody that I got a lot of love and admiration for.
Sure.
Somebody that our entire city has rallied behind and around, and even people throughout our country, honestly, to push for his return. And he's back, you know.
I'm back.
My dad, Tony Lewis Sr.
There we go.
Welcome to
Back.
Heart of
I'm
the
back.
City.
Yeah, welcome home, man.
Welcome
Man,
home.
Thanks for the support, man. Thanks for the love.
Yeah, man.
know.
It's almost kind of, this your 10th day home,
Yeah, home.
right?
Been for,
I know from my perspective, it's like been incredibly surreal.
yeah.
I kind of like pinching myself 3 times a day.
Yeah.
That we here.
Yeah.
The journey to this moment is taking a lot.
Yeah.
34 years you were away. So I guess we can get the interview started. I just want to ask you, in the most honest way that you can answer this. Like, how you feeling?
I feel magnificent, son. Magnificent, man. I'm just so thankful. Thankful to God first, man, you know, because that's how I wouldn't be here if not. And, you know, he used you as the vessel to get me here. And you fought so long and so hard to make it happen. Yeah. And we had really all downs. There wasn't no ups as far as rulings. And, you know, we denied here, denied there. Obama denied us, Trump denied us. 782 denied us. The first crackdown denied us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But this shit just seemed like, but it just seemed like it made you get stronger in the fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you always said, Dad, I'm gonna get you home, Dad. I'm gonna get you home. Just hold on, stay strong, and I'm here for you. We're gonna get you home. And I always see all the support and the love, especially from your friends, such as Silas. I was always see him way back in the day, y'all in the pictures with McDuffie, other politicians, and you know, I was like, son, who was that? Oh, that's my man, Silas, man, good man, you know. And to be sitting here with him now, and you know, I want him to know that I appreciate all the love and support, man, over the years. Yeah. Every little bit helped from everybody. Yeah. Every little bit helped, man. And
no question.
So I feel magnificent, son. Yeah.
It's beautiful, man.
It's beautiful, man.
It's beautiful.
From the outside looking in, right? You know, having worked with you for the last 15, 16 years, I've seen the amount that you've taken on your shoulders, right? I remember at your Uncle Doc's funeral, right? I was at the wake, actually. Yeah. And, you know, before that, your grandmother had passed, your Uncle Boo had passed, all back to back, like almost, a year apart to the days almost, right? And I remember seeing you in that moment, and I was like, man, like he's become like the man of his family. Forget the house, right? Yeah. The man of your family, right? And I saw the weight you were carrying, right? And the thing that hit me when I first saw y'all together last Tuesday, I didn't know you when you were 9, but I saw that 9-year-old boy for the first time. And it was just a look I'd never seen. And it was amazing, man. So I want to ask you, like, what was it like these first 10 days of him being back?
Yeah, it's been, man, wow. I mean, the way you just sort of like put that, I mean, it's been, I feel like a weight has been lifted.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like
I can see it.
I got help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like a dream come true because it really has been that. And you know, the way my father just described, like in this process, man, you know, we've tried and tried and tried and tried. Not even to mention all of the family things, the personal things that we've both experienced and had to like carry and get through together. And for, you know, to know that, you know, this happened.
Yeah.
And it also had, you know me, y'all both know me. Y'all know I'm a dreamer, right?
Right.
Y'all know I got big dreams and I believe anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
But like this happening.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to tell you something. I stopped. So the first couple of days I was saying, man, this is unreal. It's unbelievable, right? And maybe about 3 or 4 days ago, I was like, man, you know Tony long enough. There's nothing out of the realm where he in play, right?
Yeah,
I stopped questioning and just being like, you know what? This was supposed to happen. It's amazing. It's surreal, but it's not unbelievable.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Nah, I appreciate that. Then to that point as well, I was thinking to myself about when we were riding, when they were just talking about, you know, not just it being improbable in terms of the United States. When the United States government says you have life without parole, you're gonna die there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But aside from that part, all of the things that could have happened to him in there, to me out here, you know, for us to be able to have a bond, which is not easy. Prison erodes the most sacred bonds, even when people trying, you know, and not to mention, you know this, but a lot of people, to the listeners out there, you know, the first 12, 13 years he was in California, 3,000 miles away. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was, we were covered, you know what I'm saying? Some of it we know why we were able to stay bonded, but some of it, man, is divine for real.
Yeah, sure. No question
I
about
believe that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man. A question I have for you, Pop, and I know we kind of talked about this a little bit, but we know, like yesterday we were talking, we know that initially, you know, it was like, when I was like, man, I'm coming to get you, right? And you
Right,
like, man,
right.
you projecting, like, you know. And even when I felt,
when I seen that on the email, go ahead.
but like, was your feeling also though, even before that though, that conversation when I was sharing with you that, shout out to Brittany K. Barnett,
for sure.
Harriet
Brittany
Tubman,
K.
you know
Barnett,
what I'm saying?
For sure.
The
You
modern
know?
day Harriet Tubman.
There's no question.
Brittany K. Barnett.
Had told, you know, had shared the news that the government didn't oppose the motion.
Right.
But I remember sharing it with you, and I expected to get like more of a reaction from you, right? And I remember talking to Jessica about it, like, well, he was like, you know, I just felt like, in my mind, I was thinking like, hey, he probably just not, we've been close before. And he probably not trying to get his hopes
This
up
was
too
an
high.
email conversation
No,
or phone?
this was on the phone.
Okay, all right.
This was a phone conversation on Wednesday prior to the ruling. So my question to you was I accurate in that you just wasn't trying to?
And you know who we was up against?
Yeah.
Judge Lambert, one of the toughest conservative judges in the country. One of the most overturned judges by the appeals court. So he doesn't care about when he does something that he knows is not right. He's like, I'm a federal judge. I'm gonna do what I want, and if they appeal me, they appeal me. That's the stance, you know, from what I saw from him, that he takes. So even with the prosecutors not opposing my motion, I said it to myself, that's a good sign, but still I'm not throwing my hands up and running around happy because of the judge that we got. And and you know how tough he's been, you know, and he just had denied us like eight or 9 months before this, and talked real, you know, said I was in the center of the, you know, so that's why my feelings, I didn't say hooray or whatever, but I know it was a good move, because most of the time when the prosecutors, because they got more power than the judge, to me,
right?
Because most of the time what they say, it highly influences the judge's opinion, and most of the time the judge goes along with what they say. But we know this particular judge, man, they give him all the tough drug cases because he be batting you. He don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Play around.
Yeah, he don't play around. It's hard you got to force him to bow down. You got to force him in a powerful way in order to get a break.
So he was involved in this latest ruling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, okay.
He
And you know, we've
signed-
talked about, I've shared with you
Yeah.
through the years about just, you know, how hardline he is. Yes, it was him though.
man,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I
he
got
made
you.
the final. Yeah.
Yeah. I
He
mean, the
made the
motion
final
that
ruling.
Brittany Barnett crafted was immaculate, you
Yeah,
know.
it was.
But a motion before it that was, you know,
Yeah.
just as immaculate in many ways he denied, right? So we
And the
knew what
thing
was up
is,
against.
with this type of pleading that you have to make in order to get the time reduction in it, it stipulates it's his full discretion whether he wants to do it or not.
Sure.
So you might even deserve it, and he can say, "I don't want to give it to you."
Yeah.
You know, the Court of Appeals might come back and try to force him, but still, at the end of the day, that just one word, his full discretion, that shit powerful as hell, man.
Yeah.
You know, as far as he might just don't like you. He might, it could be anything. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
And Pop, to that point, can you speak a bit more to, you know, in this sort of like social media era that we're in, and sort of like obviously people like Meek Mill situation, or folks like that people have said that Kim Kardashian's celebrity has assisted in their freedom, that people think that when you're dealing with some of this stuff, particularly like on local level or state levels, and people get a break, like, can you just talk about the distinction between that and federal cases,
Yeah.
and how public opinion really doesn't necessarily matter
Yeah.
in the sake of a federal judge?
Yeah. The between state and federal law wise is a big difference, you know, and these federal judges just got enormous power, man.
Yeah.
Enormous power, and I would rather be in the state anytime if I had to be pleading for something to get freedom, you know, because the feds, man, it's tough, and the laws are just different, son. You know,
Right.
the federal sentencing guidelines, and you know, them is certain that judge full discretion. If you meet the criteria and you fit something to get a reduction, why would you add in there, you know, that the judge has the final say as far as, you know, discretion?
Right.
And you know,
Yeah.
it's tough, man.
And those
So-
federal judges are lifetime appointees,
lifetime
right? They're
appointees.
not really swayed by
They're not
public
swayed by
opinion.
what you can do or your public opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you accomplishing this feat, of course, Miss Barnett, you know, with her expertise, you know, and you know, seeing that and going to get her, you know what I'm saying, knowing that she would be, you know, like you had a winning team, but you just needed that top quarterback,
Yeah.
and you went and got her, man, and
Yeah,
she,
man.
yeah.
And shout out to Pusha T. Also,
yeah, oh yeah,
man.
no question,
You know what I
Pusha T.
mean?
This
Pusha,
wouldn't be happening if
it
it wouldn't be
wouldn't.
for Pusha T,
No
man.
question
Big ups
about
to
it.
you, Pusha. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man, for real.
Yeah.
You talked about the power of the courts, right? But your son was showing a lot of power over the last 15, 20 years that I've seen, right?
Mhm.
When did it click to you that, man, my son is really doing something special? Like, when was that moment where it turned the corner for you, where you were able to see it from where you sat?
I have to say that rally, man. That rally was, man. I really feel that was the key leading up to this right here. And you've done a lot of things before that, but that rally, when you suggested it, son, you was like, "Dad, I'm gonna throw a rally for you, man. And I'm like, you know, always I'm like, would I go along with, you know, the things that you say? But I'm like, a rally, but I had no sense of how you was going, the magnitude and how you was gonna put it down. And as you start filling me in, man, da 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 da, and I started. And then when you had it, and I called down to the rally, and I felt the people, the love, man, the support, and then how you hooked up the media to coincide. I said, that's some bullshit. That's professional shit. And I was telling you, like, you know, you might have to go into business with some people who got family members and things like that want you to set up some same things for them, like that. You know what I'm saying? But that rally, man, that's when I really knew. You know what I'm saying? Just how he coordinated that, and he had major media too. He had major media and some of lower class medium, but it was so much, and you need those things when you put together something like that, and all of it got to coincide together, and that's what you did.
Yeah.
TV, newspaper, magazine, you put all those things together, and the rally, and the people, and just everything. But that's Silas. That's when I really knew and said, man, yeah, my son taking this to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I felt like, growing up, you know what I'm saying, it wasn't a whole lot. Like, he said something like, cool, Paul, that's what we're going to roll.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when it was 2007 and the BET American Gangster,
Yeah,
they had approached him. They approached me to obviously get to him.
I was against it.
Like,
I was against it.
Right? Because, that's his style. He never wanted to do none of that stuff.
And
right?
I had other stuff in court. I'm like, son, no. And this the title, American Gangster. I'm not being no, you know what I'm saying? So my son let it be for that day. Then he came back and said, Dad, you know what? I've been thinking about this, man. I can spin this to our favor. I know how they trying, because they want the drama and everything. And going in, they're going to have to do some drama. But he said, when they told me that they're going to come down to my job and give me a certain amount of time, he said, I got that. So then I said, I got to think about that, son. Then I thought about it, and I said, I'm putting my trust in my son. If he say he can pull it and spin it the way in our favor, because that's what they wanted, that's what the media does. And he did it. He did it. So that was a big stepping stone, probably maybe the biggest.
Yeah.
Because from doing that move right there, yeah,
it changed that, and in hindsight, you're right. I mean, I just look at that like that changed things for me too, right? It my platform rose, and it also made people have to consider that this guy comes from this guy.
Yeah.
You can see the sincerity in me talking about you, like, and that he can't be as bad as people want to paint him. Look. And this guy's attached to him. It ain't just like he's father. He don't talk to him, or he don't have a relationship with him. You know what I mean? I saw that shift start to happen.
Right.
And then the next time they did it with Corn, I was able to wear the Free Tony Lewis T-shirt on. That was a national thing. You know what I'm saying? And like I reflect that same year, the Nike Boo video. Shout out to Wale.
Yeah, shout out to Wale. No
and I was
doubt.
able to show him the Nike Boo video. He had never seen it before.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah.
Those two things happened at the same time. And so in terms of the public, right, we've been on that, right? Free Tony Lewis. But in terms of the public in 2008, that was the big coming out party for the Free Tony Lewis movement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the thing I thought about, you mentioned your reservation around Tony being a part of American Gangster, in part because of the moniker American Gangster, right? As you return back to D.C., there are people that reach out, hey, congratulations, legendary figure, that sort of thing. How do you, I guess, measure out or manage being revered for your past life versus people welcoming you home just because they're happy for you to be home?
That's a good question. Yeah, I just say just being me. It's just being me, and I tell my son, I'm not going on any platform, because again, most platforms, most of the media, they want the drama. But I'm not the drama person.
Sure.
I'm gonna tell the truth, but I'm not the drama person. My past in the drug game. When I was in the drug game, it was about surviving and, making money to survive. The drama and, all that can come with it, I mostly tried to avoid it, and I did avoid it. So I was never that. And that's why I'm saying the way I can do these things, both just what you was asking me, is being me. And I be telling my son, a lot of these guys want to come around and they want to, Tony Lewis, Tony Lewis this, Tony Lewis that, and let's hang out. And I wasn't hanging out with y'all before. I don't have a problem. I hang out with y'all now. I mean, it's all good. You're all right and everything, but you know what I'm saying, son? Yeah. So just being me, that's it. I was never that, and don't care to be that, So that's what I roll off of.
Yeah. I think what happens too, right? first of all, you always been a more introverted type of person, right? People here, you're a mythical figure though, right? You're a person of legend. I even watch how people, because people not only heard about you, through their life, or like, and then when I came, and probably people hear about you, but like speaking of the rally, like when people heard your voice, I was right?
Yeah. I remember that moment.
Like they never heard you talk before.
I remember that moment.
That was like a big thing. Like, oh my God, he talks, right? Like he's
it was probably the quietest that whole day was.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so much they had to do. So I've been watching how people in the last 10 days, when they see you, like, my God, like, oh, he's not 8 foot tall. He's not, you know what I'm saying? like, and so like your name, and then so like I think also on the other side of that is, and if I'm saying, oh, my dad is a very intelligent guy, my dad is a guy who like to just be to himself and with family, or my dad. Right. It's almost like I think people used to receive that a bit as like, I'm just trying to say stuff that make you sound like a nice person so that we can get to our end goal, and not like, nah, that's really who you are.
Yeah, that's who I am.
You ain't really like,
Even in prison, son, some of the staff would, like they had a staff member working, she really worked in medical. She was like a nurse, but they short of staff, so they be having them work in the blocks. And she came past my cell and was like, went past, then stepped back. And said, Mr. Lewis, you quiet. You don't, you're not out here with all the noise. And I was like, this how I've always been. These whole 2 decades I've been locked up here. That's why you don't know about me, because you know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing that I really constantly try to be. It's just it is what it is. You know?
Yeah.
Can we talk a bit about the influence you had inside in a positive way? Because I've heard some great stories about you mentoring young men that came through Cumberland in particular. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, man. I've had a few good guys, young guys that they came in on the wild shit, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, one just called Hat.
Yeah.
He got his own tow truck company and stuff since he been home. He got his own business and he rolling. But he was one of the guys, and I was joking with him that when he first came in the unit in Cumberland, he came in there. He was from the South Side. He came with his face all turned up, looking at everybody, and he got right with the bad crew. And I was watching him the first couple of months and stuff. And he eventually made his way to me. I don't know why exactly, but we got to talking and stuff. And I always try to give advice. I always tell these guys, y'all young guys, y'all young, but y'all men. Y'all grown, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here to try to make you do nothing. I'm not here to force you to do nothing. All I can do is give you advice and set the example and tell you, look, this is me. Even with a life sentence, I still carry myself like I got a release date. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always try to give it to the young guys, man, that I think are receptive to it. I ain't wasting my time and my breath when I see the knuckleheads who continuously keep going to the hole, keep always in things, and just wilding, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we had the YMI program, the Young Men Incorporated Leadership Training Academy that came to Cumberland. Shout out to Mr. Dominique Henry, wonderful program, and that was the best program that I ever seen, man. That really got the attention of the young guys, man, and helped a good amount of them turn themselves around as they was approaching release. And so I was vice president of that, and that really gave me the platform, because y'all was coming up, bringing the council members up, man, and other special guests from D.C. Yeah, that was big, man. They loved that program. Had so much fun, and it made a lot of young guys go. When they did get released, they didn't reoffend. A lot of them out here got jobs and stuff, got in programs. And, of course, son, the collaboration with you, they would be like, man, Mr. Lewis, where do I go when I get out? And you would be right there. Go ask my son. He down to see Sosa, or Project Empowerment, whatever the case may be. He can hook it up. So we collaborated on a few things, man. We're helping the young people,
I got a follow up to that question too.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's one thing I want to point out too. Just I know other times, we've discussed like when things happen, particularly was involving, the homies, the administrationists that will come to you to see to bring peace or to try to, what I mean?
That was some nerve-wracking shit.
They always come to you,
going
right?
on, yeah, man. I'm like, yeah, man. Stuff can happen all the way down the block down there. I'm in A2, happen all the way down the D block. And next thing over the loudspeaker, Tony Lewis reports to the lieutenant's office. And I'm like, go up there. And it's this situation, the homies this, the homies that, and I'm like, oh, look, man, I can't keep coming up here, man. But I always try to, try to assist with trying to mediate some of these different rifts that was going on, different beefs that was happening, because they was putting the guys in. You might have shot my brother on the street, and you was already incoming. And then they bring the person who shot my brother, and he sometimes they put him in the same block. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
What you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and they don't care. They throw them in there. Y'all go ahead and do whatever y'all do. We coming after the blood is whatever. We clean up and whatever. But yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But
man.
the question I had, I just want to make that point too, that you served as a, in a lot of ways, a peacemaker. But my question for you is, Silas asked about, you pouring into young people, right? But what did that do for you? And I'll tell you why I'm asking this after you answer that.
Yeah. It did good for me because I feel that with me selling drugs in our community, when I was selling drugs in the 80s, I know directly that some of these same young people, parents, were some of my customers. And I didn't make them buy drugs or be on drugs, but I did facilitate in their addiction, man, and I don't feel good about that. And I know that some of that addiction, that played a role in how these kids turned out. Because a lot of parents, once they got to smoking the crack and everything, they wouldn't be home. The kids had no supervision, sometimes no food, because they out chasing the rocks, you know what I'm saying? And also, you being my son, and grandkids, our two granddaughters, some of these young people or their kids, some of these young guys or their kids will probably be some of the same kids that our grandkids interact with as growing up in Washington, D.C. And, that's kind of frightening sometimes when we have to get this thing, get these young people right, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff is what, kind of motivates me to want to try to help,
Yeah. I asked that question because I seen you. You've always been, available like for me, right? Mm-hmm. So that's not. But I just seen you sort of take on, a different sort of dynamic, as a man, right? Because you was down seeing like your direct interaction with them youngins, and they were like taking heed to it, and I was seeing the effect on you that was having, which I thought was, beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It was a part, because I feel like in the situation, being in prison that long, having life, you had to, in order to survive every day, just mentally, I feel like you had to like develop a certain wall, you know what I mean, and not let yourself go certain places emotionally or get, and so I saw that kind of change that last like 7-8 years, you know what I mean, and I didn't really, I don't think I had the words for it, really until now, but I saw that, and I saw that show up even how you interacted with me though. You just became, you always there for me, but I felt like you became more open, more understanding. You used to be so rigid at one point.
Right.
Fuck sick, man. Listen,
and you're a big part of it too, son. You're a big part of it too. The hard work that you do, man. The accomplishments that you make, and it's not a day that went by in Cumberland that some young guy didn't come up to me and say something like, Mr. Lewis, I was in one of your son's program, man, and he helped me get a job and everything, man, and and I would say like, well, what you doing back here? What you doing back in jail? He put the head down somewhere and say, man, I ain't gonna lie, man, I was either smoking, I was taking pills, or it was some type of drug, and that always leads back to trouble, and you know, or the young guys, man, I read your son's book, man. Y'all relationship, man, I wish me and my father, you know what I'm saying, da-da-da, you know? And, you know, yeah, so a lot of it is attributed to you, son, my growth in that area, you know? Yeah.
So you took on this role as a big homie, a mentor, sometimes a father figure for the guys that were in that facility, right? You come home now, you got your son, you got your daughter-in-law, and you got your grandbabies. So Tony Lewis Sr., the grandfather. Talk to me about that role that you play.
Oh man, that is the greatest role, man. So rewarding, so satisfying to me. You know, and I dreamt about it, you know what I'm saying? I would always say to my son, man, I would call home and they would be at the dinner table or something, or the girls had some event at school, or they were going somewhere, and I was like, son, Dad, I wish I could have been there, or they accomplished something big, like Isabella doing that amazing interview, you know, Sophie doing the gymnastics, and I already got to go to her gymnastics class and see that, or them going to school. I've been doing that almost every morning with whether it's you, son, or wifey, taking them, and I tag along just to get that enjoyment and everything. But yeah, being the granddad is the best, the most beautiful thing, best for me, you know. Yeah. So
them girls love you too, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that love. Yeah, I appreciate them girls. There's something. Yeah.
So I know it's a lot to ask, right? But in the best way you can, like, what's next for you?
What's next for me? I want to collaborate mostly with my son, man.
That's it?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's the main thing that I want to do. And also give back to the city, man. You know what I'm saying? All of us, let's help bring back that feeling of safety and calm that we once had. You know, there's always been some crime and stuff like that, but where things are now, man, it's outrageous, and it got to be. I'm hoping that we can do it instead of law enforcement, because that same cell that I did them 34 years in, I was telling every time I get in front of the camera, telling the young people, that cell is open and they want to fill it. Don't be the one that they fill it with, man. Don't get taken, and because they going to take you, you know. Yeah, and I know youngins be wild and they be doing this and doing that and getting away with this and getting away with that, but it's only a matter of time. And they want to fill that cell, and they want to fill it for a long time. And, you know, that at the same time, too, when we say that, we also got to talk to the business leaders and the business owners in this city, that they have to stop holding our past against us as ex-felons or whatever the case may be. You got to give us a shot. A lot of us are rehabilitated, man. We in this city and we ain't going nowhere. Give us a shot, man. Give us a job if we apply. You know, give us a chance, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed by most of the men coming from prison. Hard workers, man. Honest men. You know, give the young people a chance, man, because you want them to put down the gun, and then you ain't getting them nothing to pick up. You know, so that's yeah.
And I look forward to us working to reunite families like ours. So I want you to give you opportunity to Pop. If you just have people that you wanna, you know what I'm saying, that we need to put on top of the list, that we gotta go get. We got you. So who next?
Yeah, man. I was just talking to a good brother that's still in Cumberland. There's a few. His name is Timothy Williams. They call him Tiny. Good man. A real man. He's rehabilitated, man. Very intelligent. He's for the city, for the people, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that the judge that has his case on his desk, man, that he gives him immediate release just as me. And also James Kirby Burke, another good man that's in the same block with Tiny. All three of us did a lot of good work, man, at a certain time in Cumberland before I was released. And I can stamp my name on these guys, man. And both of them did 30 years or better. Yeah. They've paid their debt to society, man. They are rehabilitated men. The city needs them. They did all they can do in Cumberland. The city needs them. Also, my man Silk, even though he's out in New York, my man, his last name is Waite. I can't pronounce. What is it? Selborn Waite. Another good man. Again, like I said, even though he's from New York, but New York needs him. Yeah, the city needs him.
That's right.
good man. I could stamp. It ain't too many men I can stamp my name on to say, man, that they deserve their freedom and they deserve it now, man. You know what I'm saying? But those three, yeah, man. So,
we definitely gonna push on this current administration. You know,
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, that's how I feel like in our tandem, that's important. It's imperative that we try to light a fire under the Biden administration
no
around
question.
clemency and some. He was so heavy-handed in
Yeah.
the system of mass incarceration we have now. He ran on righting that wrong,
Yeah,
and they ain't done
he's
nothing.
an architect. He was the architect
Yeah,
of
literally.
that omnibus crime bill, and he's did nothing. He's did nothing, and I don't want to hear about we need Congress, I need Congress, or whatever. You got the power with a pen.
Yeah.
You can commute a lot of these sentences, man. And these guys, it's not like they're getting away with no crime or whatever. If you spend 30 years of your life in prison, that is enough. That's enough, Mr. Biden, if you happen to hear this. And you need to have some compassion, man, and right some of your wrongs.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you know, I want to end it on this. I shared this with you when we talked last Tuesday. You know, I judge people often by their children. That's their product, right? And while you were away, you know, he did a lot of great things, and he's going to continue to do a lot of great things. But the one thing that I know that you left behind when you went away was a really good young man who, I told you, one of the most impressive people when it comes to self-governance. You never have to tell him what to do, right? He knows to do the right thing. And I know a lot of that, if not all of that, came from your rearing of him. So if nothing else, you know, you definitely
Oh, yeah, no question.
produce someone
I'm so
who,
proud of my son, man. So appreciative to my son. And I love my son dearly, and he knows that for sure.
No question.
Yeah.
Lay you back, big boy.
That's
right.
right.
So we back. Heart of the City is
Heart of
back.
the City.
Yeah.
Tony Lewis Sr. is back.
Yeah.
And we'll see y'all soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Salute to Sonny Boy, too.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. May God rest his soul, man. All right.